Week 5 has body and breath, sound and thought, and a new meditation called Exploring Difficulty Meditation, which involves thinking about difficult and possibly painful memories and accepting the emotions and thoughts you have. Quite often this makes that memory a little less painful the next time. It also calls, of course, for breathing space meditations. Your habit releaser this week is to plant and care for some seeds. This requires patience and gives you a responsibility which increases feelings and purpose. Studies on elderly people showed a higher lifespan if they were given duties to take care of plants in their room, as opposed to if they were told not to worry about them and have someone else care for them. Week 6 contains exercises to release people who are trapped in the past. Some people can have terrible experiences and shake it off and move on with their life. Some can go through that exact same experience or much less horror and be psychologically crippled. Psychologists have discovered that much of it comes down to the memory response of certain people that is really common in most people when tired. These people, when depressed or suffering after a traumatic event, when asked to recall specific memories that make them feel certain emotions, will end up stopping after the first stage of memory retrieval, lumping many similar concepts with these memories. The brain stops short of being able to state anything specific. When a depressed person with this memory problem is asked to name a specific time and event that made her happy, she can't. She'll just say, "My friends and I used to go out on weekends." She can't remember specific times associated with positive or negative memories, they just all run together. Overgeneralized memory is more prevalent with less psychologically resilient people, who instead of remembering things in more detail, will remember past items rather vaguely as just as bad. From then on, anytime they think about that part of their past, it all leads to negative thinking, even if it was just a one or few time event. Your inner beast is great at spreading propaganda and rumor, making you feel like you can't do anything or the world or your life is worse than it is. Overgeneralized memory prevents you from letting go of the past, locking you into it, and making sure you can't live your life in the now. If you're one who is too focused on the past mistakes, you can never move on. Mistakes are only bad when nothing is learned. Most of the greatest people learn everything that was important to their success from a lot of failure. Sadly, we've been given the illusion by well-choreographed media that if we fail the first time or many times, there is something wrong with us. This week, you learn the befriending meditation, which is pretty common in most meditations. You think about someone you love, someone you like, a stranger, and someone you find difficult. You are to think of yourself and accept yourself for who you are and tell yourself you deserve good things. You are to think of the person you love and pay attention to the emotions you feel and wish good things for them. You are to think about someone you like and do the same thing. Next, you're to focus on the stranger and transpose the feelings you had for someone you like onto them. And try and transpose the feelings you had for the person you love onto the person you find difficult. This exercise in empathy increases your level of patience and can increase your immune system. Both are extremely good, especially when dealing with someone difficult later on. Your habit releaser is to do a good deed for someone, maybe in secret, just to shake up your life a little. It increases your self-esteem and empathy at the same time, and may be coupled with befriending, giving you more drive to do more things for both yourself and others, giving you the motivation you need. You work to take care of yourself and give yourself basic needs, but you will work even harder to help others if you have the empathy. Week 7 involves rebalancing. They suggest writing up a list of things that drain you and ones that nourish you psychologically. And if you're overstressed, to force yourself to do some of the more nourishing tasks. When you're stressed out, studies show that you're more likely to believe inaccurate lies you tell yourself, either good or bad. Why you get angry at others, because you feel superior or feel like crap because you think you're inferior. It also makes you more likely to be blindsided by your own biases and believe without thinking. This will lock you in a cycle of delusion that's very damaging. This week, do 3 of the meditation, one you feel most nourishing, one you found most difficult. The psychologists in this book have found that the best meditators are ones who have a willingness to experiment with their minds, as it's an important practice in non-judgment. You'll find your thoughts and emotions fluctuate, as they call emotional weather. Many people beat themselves up over this as they forget that peace and calm is an end achievement like gaining muscle and not the process like working out. The best meditators are the ones who have the skill of being okay with starting over when their minds drift. Meditation failure is just practice, and you need to learn to accept that it will happen. The third meditation is a breathing space meditation. Unfortunately, the more you need meditation, the more likely you are to not remember to do it. So often you need to plan ahead many meditations. Many dread having to stop and take time out of their busy rush schedule for meditation, but it's needed to prevent error and worse problems. Accepting the inevitable 3-minute meditation makes it better. Fighting it causes missed experiences, which reduces the effectiveness of it. The 8th and final week involves planning meditation for the rest of your life as maintenance for your mental physique. Mindful bells are tasks that you can focus on that you will require yourself to remain mindful about. They're especially useful if you can use them with frustrating situations. As you progress in life, you can modify your plan as needed. The great thing is that you will be mindful enough and in touch with your thoughts and emotions to figure out what meditation you need when the situation arises. And of course, if you drift far enough due to high levels of stress, you can always go back and start at the beginning. A little maintenance here and there can make your life a whole lot happier, as you're no longer chasing your tail, trying to think of why you aren't more happy.